Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for waiting. And welcome to Twarna's webinar on how to integrate with NetSuite. My name is Tina Chandra, and I run marketing activities for Twarna. I'm responsible for running campaigns, creating collateral, managing our social media platforms, creating strategies to promote our products and services, and raising brand awareness. Now that I've introduced myself, allow me to provide you some detail as to who we are and what we do. As a company, we were founded in 2007 as a Salesforce and NetSuite consulting firm. In 2008, we became a NetSuite solution provider. In 2014, we created our first suite app, Skydock, our storage solution for NetSuite. We now have over 8 apps on suiteapp.com and provide support, managed services, and integration services for NetSuite and Salesforce clients. Now let me introduce my counterpart and today's subject matter expert, Kiran Kohli. Kiran has been with us since 2017 and has over 16 years of overall IT experience. He also leads our integration team, which is responsible for delivering and maintaining integration requirements. I really hope you enjoy today's content. Let's get started. During this webinar, we'll be talking about integrations and integration platforms. Kiran will provide us with a quick demo on how to integrate NetSuite with a couple of different integration platforms. Hey, Kiran, can you tell us what is integration?
Hi Tina, hi everyone. In simple terms, integration means bringing multiple systems together to work as a single system by allowing them to share the data, emulate the business processes that individuals follow in case the work has to be done manually. So if your organization has multiple systems, making all these systems work together for a common goal is called integration.
Thanks for that explanation, Kiran. So why would a company need integration? Are you saying that integration will help automate all of the business processes between multiple apps or systems that are trying to fetch data simultaneously?
Yes, integration avoids moving data from one system to another manually, thus avoiding the laborious effort and any human errors. So because we automate while building the integrations, it will also help increase productivity.
Great. Can you now touch on the different types of integrations?
Sure, there are four ways. One-way sync, bidirectional sync, real-time processing, batch processing. One-way sync is where data flows only in one direction, meaning either retrieve data from source system or send data to a target system. In bidirectional sync, data flows in both directions. Here, the data is sent and received between two set of systems. Real-time processing is when a particular event on the source triggers sending data into the target system. Batch processing is when the integration runs on schedules.
Question for you, Kiran. Can we have one-way and two-way sync combined with real-time and batch processing?
Yes, we can use the combination of one-way sync or two-way sync with either real-time or batch processing. I would prefer to use batch processing though, because the batch processing runs on schedules, we'll have better control on the integrations when there is a need to pause or resume.
So what are the types of integrations supported by NetSuite?
NetSuite supports multiple integration types. Let's start with SweetTalk Web Services. The SweetTalk platform is NetSuite's standard web services framework. It allows users to build integrations between NetSuite and third-party applications using Java, .NET, C Sharp, or PHP. SweetTalk is a SOAP-based, which allows you to securely access NetSuite data and execute business processes using an XML-based application interface. There is NetSuite's schema browser, which provides all the necessary details required to access various records and fields used by the SweetTalk. We can also integrate the custom records using SweetTalk Web Services.
Great, thank you, Kiran. I'm now curious about the pros and cons of SweetTalk Web Services. Can you go over them for us?
Yes, sure. Let's start with the pros. It provides robust security and error handling framework. It does real-time updates to the data in NetSuite. Developer doesn't need knowledge of SweetScript. Validation on the fields are done automatically. The web services only role can be used to ensure that account used for integration can access NetSuite only using web services.
And now on to the cons.
Now the cons, there is something called concurrency limit. A SweetCloud Plus license is required to perform multiple web service operations concurrently. So without SweetCloud Plus, only one web services operation can be performed at any given time by a user. Also, SweetTalk Web Services involves coding, and you need to have a resource who understands how web services and digital works.
In the NetSuite 2020.2 release, data center specific URLs are going away. So if you currently have web services that use such URLs, please make sure that they are updated to a new account specific URL format before the upgrade.
So moving on to RESTlets. RESTlets run inside your NetSuite instance and expose data to both internal and external systems. They are server-side scripts that interact with NetSuite data based on RESTful design principles. You can invoke a RESTlet via HTTP request to a system-generated URL. RESTlets send and receive content in a request-response model. They support the entire SweetScript API and generic SweetScript features such as debugging. While SweetTalk API comes as an out-of-the-box solution with your NetSuite subscription, RESTlets need to be specifically coded as per the exact integration requirements. In most cases, RESTlets will be the most flexible integration option for NetSuite.
Kiran, what would some of the advantages of RESTlets be?
The custom development aspect of RESTlets provide us with more control and flexibility with regards to the integration logic. RESTlets are relatively quicker in terms of response time. They come with a limited downtime unless we exceed the data limits. They also provide built-in authentication based on token or user credentials. They're comparatively more secure because the SweetScript is inside your NetSuite instance. RESTlets support both JSON and XML content types, unless SweetTalk, where only XML content type is supported.
Thanks, Kiran. Can you now highlight a couple of disadvantages?
Sure. Some disadvantages include heavy coding inside NetSuite using SweetScript, which requires fairly substantial knowledge of SweetScript to implement correctly. The concurrency limit is applicable here too.
Okay, thanks. Now let's talk about Sweetlets. Sweetlets are an extension of SweetScript API and are ideal for generating NetSuite pages, returning data such as XML, text, and redirecting requests. Am I right, Kiran?
Yes, that's correct, Tina. Sweetlets are also server-side scripts that operate in a request-response model and are invoked by HTTP GET or POST to the system-generated URL. Sweetlets enable users to create custom pages that look just like NetSuite pages. So backend Sweetlets do not use any UI objects and are used to execute backend logic.
Okay, so let's talk advantages of Sweetlets.
Well, Sweetlets can be exposed as public URLs and can be accessed by non-NetSuite users even without having NetSuite access.
And what is one major disadvantage of working with Sweetlets, Kiran?
In a way, the pro of this Sweetlet is also its con. It is not secure compared to the RESTlets or web services, as anyone who knows the public URL will be able to access it programmatically. Once again, the concurrency limit that we talked earlier is applicable here as well.
Now let's chat about REST API. The NetSuite REST Web Services provides an integration channel that extends the capabilities of SuiteTalk. REST Web Services provide a REST-based interface for interacting with NetSuite. Kiran, what types of operations can we do with REST Web Services?
So using the REST web services, you can perform create, read, update, and delete operations on NetSuite records and can also execute NetSuite queries on these records. Now, this is a fairly new API and it is still in beta.
Again, what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of using REST Web Services?
Let's start with the advantages. Simple access to records metadata, easier handling of custom records and custom fields, easy to navigate API documentation. In contrast to RESTlets, you don't need to write, deploy, and run custom scripts. You can access REST API even without the knowledge of SuiteScript. And moving on to some disadvantages, only body fields can be used as parameters for querying the data. And query also returns only record IDs. Making queries on transactions and certain other record types is still not supported. Using REST API, fewer calls may be required to accomplish a business flow compared to SOAP web services. However, you might still have to make multiple calls to accomplish the entire business flow as opposed to RESTlets where the entire flow can be accomplished in a single call.
Kiran, I've heard you mention the term concurrency limit as one of the cons in almost all the integration types. So what is concurrency and how can I find what the concurrency limit is for my own NetSuite account?
So within NetSuite, the number of connections you can have with the server at the same time is called concurrency. NetSuite admins can go to their setup, integration, web services preferences, and see their account's concurrency governance called account concurrency limit. The number listed here in the screen is the maximum number of concurrent requests that is allowed for a particular NetSuite account type.
These integration options sound like we need a developer who has a strong knowledge in some of these programming languages. Is there any other way to integrate with NetSuite?
Yes. Integration platforms help us integrate with NetSuite pretty easily without the knowledge of any of these programming languages. Let's take a look at what an integration platform is.
An integration platform is a software that helps us connect or bring together multiple systems that we have talked about earlier. Apart from being able to connect to multiple systems, how can integration platforms help us, Kiran?
Sure. First, they help utilize pre-built connectors already developed by the platform teams. They also transform the data from source system to the target system the way target system expects. Also, they automate the data flow between the systems, either real time or on a scheduled basis, and also help monitor the data flow between all the systems.
Thanks, Kiran. It sounds like what you're saying is that the key advantage of an integration platform is that you'll be able to monitor and manage all your integrations or data movement from a single place, which is very important in today's world.
Yes, that's correct. Integration platforms not only help us connect our internal systems together, but also help us connect to the external systems from which we are seeking services while giving the ability to monitor all these from a single place.
Okay, moving on to iPaaS or Integration Platform as a Service. When an integration platform is available on the cloud for developing, managing, and deploying integrations, it is called Integration Platform as a Service. iPaaS helps us to build integration flows in any combination of on-premise and cloud-based applications across multiple organizations. Now, here are some of the top iPaaS solutions available today. There's Dell Boomi, MuleSoft, Jitterbit, Informatica, which you don't see on the screen, Integrator.io, and Workato. Now tell us about iPaaS.
Like you said, Tina, iPaaS is an integration platform that is available on cloud. iPaaS has pre-built connectors developed and tested to a range of applications in the ERP, HCM, CRM domains, and so many other areas. It is a single place where we can monitor the utilization and health of our integrations. Also gives the ability to start and stop the integration processes based on the need. And all these are available on the cloud for us to use. Also, most of these integration platforms comes with built-in EDI support. We can also use these iPaaS solutions as an ETL tool.
All right. Kiran, you mentioned pre-built connectors. What is a pre-built connector?
In our current context of NetSuite integrations, example, Dell Boomi or MuleSoft has already developed connections between their platform and NetSuite and made it readily available for us to use. The iPaaS solution comes with the connectivity setup between the platform and number of applications, hence they are called pre-built connectors. Pre-built connectors eliminate the dev work involved in developing the connectivity between the two systems, thus eliminating the cost to be incurred on the developers and the infrastructure. Instead, the iPaaS enables us to focus the resources or effort on building the actual business flow of the integration. This enables us to deliver projects faster, which in turn increases the productivity of the resource. The plug and play feature of these pre-built connectors allows us to start the new integrations in very less time. This in turn helps increase the scalability of the companies by starting up new projects in very few clicks.
I see. So because we are not building the connections, the maintenance overhead is also off our shoulders, correct? Which would mean that the platforms are responsible for maintaining connectors whenever there's a change made by the actual system.
Yes, Tina, that is correct. In addition to that, team can add, remove the connectors in a matter of few clicks. This gives us flexibility to accommodate the upcoming business needs without having had to have too much churn. For the next few minutes, let's take a look at a couple of platforms and then see how easily a pre-built connector can be configured and used.
All right, a note to our audience. Before we move on to our Dell Boomi demo, I'd just like to remind you our chat feature is available. So if you have any questions, please post them there and we'll address them at the end of the session. And now on to you, Kiran.
I'm about to share my screen. I hope everyone is able to see my
I
screen.
see it.
So this is how the landing page of Dell Boomi looks like. So today let's see how to fetch customer records from NetSuite using Dell Boomi's pre-built connector. So I'll go to demo folder, click on new component, give a name here. See, these are all the pre-built connectors that Dell Boomi developed and made ready for us to use. Today we'll use NetSuite. So all the actions available on NetSuite suite of web services are also made available here. So we'll use query. I'll quickly show how to set up the connection. So we're trying to add connection and then the latest web services URL is pre-populated here. And we'll be using the token-based authentication for which we need account number, consumer key, consumer secret, token ID, and token secret. So in the best interest of time, I've already set up the connection that I'll show you in a bit. The second step is to create the operation. So since we are going to fetch customer record, we need to import the profile of the customer.
Just a quick disclaimer for our audience. We are currently using a dev account for our demo, which is a little slower than a normal production account. So please bear with us if you see it taking a while to load.
So this one also pulls all the records that are made available on the web services on this particular NetSuite account. So there are a good bunch here. We'll select customer. Then we click next, it will try to import. So because this is a demo account, it might take a while for it to import the profile. So I'll just cancel and show you guys what I've already imported. So this is the NetSuite connection. I populated the details, the consumer key and tokens, consumer secret and token secret are encrypted, which no one can see. We'll run a test. Okay, connection is successful. We'll also take a look at the profile. So it pulled back all the fields that are available on the customer record, which we'll use in the next processes. I've also added a parameter here. This is going to pull all the customer records that are modified after September 1st. So I'm passing last modified date as a parameter. We will run this and then see what happens. So this will also show the progress of which particular shape is being executed. Okay, the execution is successful. So it pulled back around 9 records and customer records. And this is how it pulls back the details and which we will use it in the next steps of the integration. Over to you.
Hey,
Tina.
thank you, Kiran. Let me share my screen. Okay, next we are moving on to our second platform, MuleSoft. MuleSoft is one of the leaders in integration platforms, and we'll be demoing MuleSoft's Anypoint platform. Kiran?
Thanks, Tina. Let me share my screen again. So let's perform the same operation of customer search using MuleSoft's Anypoint platform. So the connection setup and operation setup is similar. So I'll walk directly through what I've already set up. So if we go to connection, so this screen is also similar. We are populating token related details here. We'll run a test. And unlike Delbumi, we don't need to set up a profile here. And to explain you the integration that I did here, I put up a simple scheduler to kick off our integration. So I just put it up to run every 1 hour, and then I'll run this. Because we have put it on schedule, it should automatically trigger. So it will show the execution points whenever they're done. Let's take a look at the output. So it fetched all these customer records from NetSuite in the JSON format. Unlike Delphi, it fetched in an XML format. Again, these we will use in the next steps of the business flow. Again, over to you, Tina.
Thanks, Kiran. Okay, let me pull up my slides. Okay. Now, Kiran, can we just touch on some of the challenges that we face with iPaaS? It sounds like iPaaS performance cannot be taken for granted. And we still need a plan for the upgrades, maintenance, and backups to help keep the integrations running smoothly.
That is absolutely right, Tina. iPaaS systems still warrant maintenance and upgrades of their pre-built connectors whenever the actual system upgrades on their side. Also, most of the organizations keep their data behind a firewall, which is not readily available for the cloud-based iPaaS solutions to access. So, additional strategy and setup is required to overcome this.
Kiran, would I be correct in saying that data doesn't come the same way from all systems, and that data transformation and mapping is a tedious and time-consuming process in any integration? The person who is developing needs to understand how both the source and the target system works.
Yes, that's correct. Additionally, we will need to ensure that the data is available for the next business processes to run correctly. Some of the challenges we face related to data are data is not available at all. Data is there, but it's late. Data is not validated or formatted correctly. Duplicate data is sent, and poor quality of data.
Great. Thanks, Kiran. And now, in wrapping up our webinar, can you share with us what you believe to be some of the best practices when it comes for integration?
Sure. First, identify and understand the business needs. Um, Check which integration approach will solve these business needs, and do not decide on the tool or platform first. And key for any successful integration is to understand the purpose of the integration. We need to understand what we are moving and why. Analyze the downstream impact of any integration. Knowing the system architecture of your organization plays an important role in defining the integration requirements. Assess the overall impact on other systems because of any particular integration. Consider the overall cost involved for an integration requirement. Sometimes it might be cost effective to build the integration directly rather than using a platform or iPaaS. Always have long-term goal of your organization in mind before choosing a platform.
So much information. Thanks so much, Kiran, for going over how to integrate with NetSuite. Everyone, if you have any final questions, now would be a great time to ask them. And before we answer our chat questions, I believe we have one. I'm going to add one final poll to your screen. Kiran, we have a question in our chat. I hope I'm conveying this correctly. I'm not sure if you can see it as well, Kiran, but our attendee is wondering, the Dell Boomi demo, is it a REST API approach?
Yeah, so Delbumi uses the SweetTalk web services that we first discussed during our webinar.
And another attendee is wondering if it's possible to use multiple integration platforms.
Yes, we can, but we need to understand why we need multiple integration platforms. We should be able to solve all our issues using one platform. And if there is a need arises to use multiple integration platforms, that we can take the platform which solves the enterprise level.
All right. I guess that covers all our questions. Thank you once again for taking time out of your afternoon and participating in today's webinar. If you are not already following us on social media, please do so. And in case you have any other questions that come to mind, all our contact information is up on the screen. There's Kiran's email, and then there's my email, our website, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Thank you so much. If you have any questions regarding this webinar or any of our services or suite apps, we have team members across the globe to help facilitate your needs. We hope to see you in our next session. Thanks, Kiran.
Thank you, everyone.